What's going on, my broskiis? My name is Toadskii, back again, here to bring you guys yet another One Piece Treasure Cruise video. Data download for the brand new treasure map Sugo-Fest is here, and with this data download, we do not have any information in regards to a new Super Sugo-Fest exclusive, and we do not have the information yet for 6+ Gear 5 Luffy. So what we can assume at this point is that there is going to be Gear 5 Luffy with his Super Evolution probably debuting alongside the third Super Sugo-Fest to complete this celebration, likely when the Kizuna Clash comes out. I would think that the Kizuna Clash, which at this point is going to be a Super Boss Kizuna Clash, is going to be where, you know, Gear 5 Luffy is going to be the predominant needed character for that quest. We'll have to wait and see, of course, once data downloads hit and stuff like that. But as we said, we have the data download for this treasure map Sugo-Fest. This is going to be starting September 8th, so tomorrow, as of the recording of this video, we're going to have all of the information flooded in game. The day after that is when the Sugo-Fest will start. So you have part 1 here, you've got part 2, which is going to be September 9th, and then you've got the day after, September 10th, for part 3. So obviously the boosted characters changing each time. We don't know the full boosted list of characters on each part of the Sugo-Fest, but you can see just from the banner artworks for part 1, Kara and Nami, as well as the Blackbeard character. Part 2's got the Bonnie and Izo Okiku. Part 3 has Jinbei and Hina. Of course, these treasure map units, they're going to be rerunning every month, so if you don't have some of them, you will be able to pick them up along the way, depending on what part of the treasure map Sugo you want to pull, as well as the fact that, there are going to be other legends boosted here as well, likely Legend Alba, Legend Queen, Legend Jack, those types of units. Potentially Legend Izo would probably get a rerun as well. We'll have to wait and see exactly how it all works out, but as for the boosters here, we've got a new Raizo, we have a Sanji, and we have a Zoro character. In terms of the actual step-ups, you've got a discount on the first one, a trash step number 2, guaranteed new character on the third multi, which is pretty good, guaranteed legend on the 5th. Another guaranteed new character on the 7th, and also on the 10th, the 15th, and the 20th. Obviously, it's a treasure map Sugo-Fest. I don't recommend doing many pulls, if at all, any pulls at all on this banner at all. It's probably worthwhile to conserve for, we are expecting there to be another Super Sugo-Fest coming up with, a lot of people are saying it's going to be Legend Kaido. I feel like that makes a lot of sense at this point. And we don't know what that character really does exactly. That we have a fair idea actually about what that new Legend Kaido could potentially do, as we know what the new abilities are of the upcoming treasure map character, which is going to be the lead performers, King, Queen, and Jack, all in one unit. So it's going to be interesting to see exactly how Kaido is going to be developed. But let's talk about the new units, because a lot of people like to see what these units have in store. So the first unit is Raizo. Also something to note is that these characters are likely going to rerun over the next few months as well. Like these should be generic TM units that will always be in treasure map Sugo-Fests moving forward. At least that's what we can expect, okay? So Raizo himself is an int shooter slasher, so pretty cool type and class combinations. He does have Barrier Pierce, which I like to see that's very good, and also reducing his cooldown at the start of the quest, interesting. Captain ability, -2 cooldown, 3.25 attack. I mean, like, it's basic stuff. You're not using him as a captain. His special, though, delays all enemies by 2 turns, reduces burn by 6, makes crew immune to burn for 2 turns. You haven't seen too many characters do that in a very long time, actually. So when you launch the special, it gives your crew an immunity buff, which says for the next 2 turns you cannot be inflicted by burn, which means that you could use it on like a mini boss stage, carry it into the last stage through the preemptive attack of the enemy. Seems interesting. And then it boosts int and psi characters' attack and slot effects by 1.75 for 3 turns, and then it also deals 200 times his attack and int damage to all enemies at the end of the turn for 3 turns. I mean, that's not terrible either. Doing end of turn damaging effects is very valuable, allowing you to bypass resilience effects, which I assume is the whole reason why this character has this special. Hopefully the resilience isn't too common, because that could be a bit annoying depending on the structure of the event. Legend Momonosuke might be a really good character in this event due to his end of turn damage capabilities, so we'll have to wait and see. If you don't have this guy but you have Momo, you'll probably be in good hands, but we'll have to wait and see exactly in terms of the gimmicks of the actual content itself. Let's check out the support. So removing 3 turns of blindness, really hope that that isn't going to be a thing in the treasure map, and reduces burn duration by 1 turn as a crewmate ability. That is fascinating. So I wonder if the burn that gets inflicted to your crew might actually be 7 turns of burn, because he does remove 6 with his special ability, and then 1 from his crewmate. Could very, very, very be likely. You've got his support effect, which is always going to be valuable to have a look at. So Momonosuke is the solo support. Reduces the cooldown by 1, reduces burn by 3 turns, and then boosts attack and orbs for the whole crew by 1.5 at the start of battle 3. This is not awful. I can definitely see this being used in some way, shape, or form. That is not terrible. It's very unique. That's the thing about it. It's super unique, and the thing that could be a bit annoying is that the fact that he does boost attack and orbs, where sometimes you only want to bring it just for the removal of burn, but the fact that he does give you an attack and an orb boost could be a problem. I can see that being an issue. But the fact is this is a support that will likely see play in some way, shape, or form. So it's not awful, honestly. This is a pretty decent treasure map rare recruit character overall. The next character is Sanji. We also have a new Zoro as well, so it's going to be fascinating to see what these characters are all about, because since the release of Gear 5 Luffy, people have been predicting that they're going to release a new batch of Sai Free Spirit Straw Hats, which we've got plenty of those at this point. But, you know, characters that will work with Gear 5 Luffy. So let's see what we have. So Sanji, Sai, Fighter Free Spirit, pretty much what we expect. Captain ability, 3.5 attack, 1.25 health, recovery, tandem matching. Pretty basic. Special ability, 12 turns, 70 times his attack and side damage to one enemy, so it's a damage dealing special. You can have really good support on him then. Reduces all enemies' defense up by 3 turns. 3 turn defense up removal is pretty bad, but then again, in this treasure map, you probably want to use Law and Kid, at least I would think anyway. And if that is the case, then Law and Kid already removed defense anyway. So, unless if the enemy revives, because I believe the defense down from Law and Kid only lasts for 1 turn. If it lasts for 2 turns, it probably actually doesn't matter. We'll have to wait and see. It seems a little bit weird. So defense up removal by 3, reduces bind duration by 6 turns, that's very good, and then reduces the left column character's special charge time by 2 turns, and then changes left column character slots just to matching. It doesn't go through block, which is unfortunate. That's what I was expecting it to go through block, but it doesn't. So that's odd, okay? So just changes them to matching, and then gives you a 1.2 chain addition for 3 turns. I mean, he's okay, he's fine. I'm not a big fan of these characters that only provide, you know, beneficial effects to half the crew, because it means that these characters are less valuable to own in normal content, right? If this character was giving -2 cooldown to all characters and then change all slots into matching, definitely would be way more powerful, but understandably they wanted to nerf him just a little bit. It's okay, you know, I'm not like jumping for joy over this character. I'd love to pull him because he's one of those high boosters, of course. And another thing as well is that Luffy, Gear 5 Luffy, doesn't he reduce bind and special reverse as a captain? And that's exactly what this character does. I don't know, maybe you get heavily despaired in this content where Gear 5 Luffy's captain ability is nerfed, or they don't want you to use Gear 5 Luffy, because if you have Gear 5 Luffy and there's no despair in the content at all, then this kind of doesn't make sense as a kit. Okay. Anyways, let's move on to the crewmate abilities. Reduces bottom row character's special reverse by 1. Yeah, he reduces cooldown by 2, but only reduces special reverse by 1. Okay, and then 150 base HP. This is not a great character, I'll admit, after seeing those crewmate abilities. Ugh. Removing 5 turns of slot bind, he does have hunger removal. So if there's hunger in this content, yeah, you want to get that maxed out too. That's so annoying. Alright, hopefully the support brings it back. Hopefully the support is something very useful. Let's see. Luffy or Zoro. Once per quest, if the supported character uses a special to change your slots, makes recovery tandem beneficial for 2 turns, and reduces bind by 1 turn. I mean, so you're probably just using it as a bind removal effect, because if you're using a special to change slots, you're probably not worrying about your matching slots anyway, unless if having an effect to make slots beneficial for 2 turns so you can carry it into a boss room so that they can't inflict negative slots on your crew. I can see it being used in a utility sense such as that, but more often than not, this support effect is mainly going to be used for bind removal. So it's not it's not great, I'll admit. I think it's pretty mediocre. This unit's not that exciting. I don't know. It just could be me here. I could be not seeing something, but this character just doesn't seem that exciting. He just doesn't. And maybe Zoro's gonna bring it back. So Zoro, Sai, Slasher, Free Spirit, no surprise there. Captain ability, essentially the same as Sanji's. So 70 times attack and Sai damage to a single target. Also removing 3 turns of defense up. So you use them together, you remove 6 turns, makes sense. Reduces paralysis by 6, that's definitely more valuable. Reduces right column characters' special charge time by 2 turns, changes their slots to matching, and then you get a chain boundary for 3 turns, 2.5 chain boundary. Yeah, I mean, just by reading this character is way more valuable to have, I think. I definitely prefer what he's doing. Also, the fact that you can have this Zoro with a damage dealing special means you can have the support re-recruit Koshiro attached to Zoro that removes a further 4 turns of defense up and also gives you a chain boost that goes in tandem with his chain boundary. So Zoro already seems like a much more superior character when you're comparing him to Sanji. Just the way that I see it right now, this character seems very good. He has slot-bind removal, he has critical hit, and then his crewmate ability, the same thing as Sanji. So you ideally want both of these characters on your crew as a crewmate, so that both of these crewmates resist 2 turns of special reverse when you combine both crewmate abilities of Sanji and Zoro together. It's a very weird way to do it, very strange, because basically if you have one of them, it just makes the whole team not work as succinct, you know what I mean? You really need both of these characters to make the most out of them. So that's going to be a bit of a weird one. I don't like that at all. Adds 5 times his attack on top of tap timing bonus damage. You don't see crewmate abilities like this too often anymore, mainly due to the fact that normal attacks only renders these useless. So that's kind of interesting that they're bringing that back. And then his support effect to Sanji and Luffy, if they use a special to change slots, makes Saiyan matching for 2 turns, and remove 1 turn of paralysis. So yeah, I mean, these supports are okay, but they're not really jumping out at me like, oh my god, this is going to be broken for like heaps of content, because it's not really. It's just kind of like a whatever kind of support. But yeah, just comparing them, I think Zoro's going to be good. I think Raizo for his end of turn damaging effects is actually going to be pretty valuable to have too. Again, I haven't read the gimmicks of the actual treasure map itself, but if there is a revive mechanic, and then they inflict resilience, or, you know, having resilience on a mini-boss stage, and then you have to deal with stuff on the last stage, Raizo could be useful. Sanji just seems like kind of whatever, but I'm sure he will be useful in some way, shape, or form in this content for sure. But not a very exciting batch of treasure map characters, I will admit. I'm not that excited about this batch at all, but we are going to be doing some pulls, hopefully getting our hands on 1 to 2 of them. I mean, we're going to get one of them at least. I'm going to do at least 3. Hopefully we could get, you know, some cool stuff moving forward here for this upcoming treasure map against Kaido's lead performers, King, Queen, and Jack. But that is going to wrap it up from me. Thank you so much for watching the video. If you guys enjoyed it, make sure to go ahead and leave a like. And if you want to stay up to date with all the content I post, including more One Piece Treasure Cruise content, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. On that, guys, I'll see you guys within the next video.